We begin today's recording by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are on. I am on Burrawang land. Where are you, Breezer?
I am on the land of the Djadjarurrung people.
We pay our respects to the elders past and present and extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who are tuning in today.
And wherever you're listening to the potty today, make sure you know whose land you're on. Join us each week for some booze-free banter about life without booze.
If you're entertaining cutting back your booze by a day, a week, a month, or for the rest of your life, we would love for you to tune in.
Buckle up and come along for a ride that may just change your life. If any of today's conversations have been triggering, please reach out to your local support centre in Australia. That is Lifeline 131114. Mesa, let's crack a bottle.
Let's crack a bottle, Breezer. What you got there in your hot little hand?
I have got Altina Kakadu Plum Rosé.
Rosé. I love that.
What have you got, Meso?
Yum, yum, pig's bum. Finger lime, Sauvignon Blanc. Yum, yum.
Delish. And these are the two flavours we are yet still to try because
I know.
we talk about it like I'm so keen to try it, but I want to make it a whole thing.
It's a moment.
It's a moment. I might do it this weekend, I reckon.
Yeah, love that. Do you know what I really love? Liberate collection.
I know, how gorgeous. So this is their
beautiful
new range, Altina's new range, hot off the press, baby. You can get them online. You can get them in some shops as well. But we have got a little present for our listeners. What is it, Meso?
It is 15% off when you use the discount code BFB15, and you will find that at Breezer.
Yes, go to www.altinadrinks.com. And we absolutely love the pants off Altina non-alcoholic wines. We love them.
We do love the pants off them. And this is season 3. They've been with us for 3 seasons. We love you, Christina and Alan. Thank you so much. And little Bubba.
Absolutely. 3 cheers.
Thank you. 3 cheers.
Thanks,
we love you, Altina.
Meso.
Breezer.
We need some tunes. I reckon we started season 2 with Guess Who's Back?
Yeah, back again.
We need some tunes. We didn't plan it out, did we? Jeez, we're slipping.
No, I like that, how we just hack about. Just a couple of hacks having a crack.
But welcome to season 3, Meso.
Welcome back. Yeah. Welcome back, Cotter. Do you remember that show?
No. NFI.
You were going to say no. Well, I'm remote. I'm in Kerrang, and we're on Wemba land, Aboriginal land. The original owners of the area, the first occupants of Kerrang. Nice. So I'm at Daddy-O's. Yep. Where are you?
I am in Bendigo still. On the land of the Djadjarurrung people.
Yes.
So I'm having a home match or having an away match today.
Home and away.
But it's good to be back in the hot seat, isn't it, Mason?
It is good to be back. It's so funny. We get real up and about, don't we? Oh.
We do. And we actually didn't talk about this off air, but we've got a new segment, haven't we?
We have.
For our guests, when we have our guests on.
Yes, we do. Listen out for that.
Listen out for it, peeps. What else have we got that's new in season?
The reflection section.
Yes, that is it.
Talking about what we've got for season 3, OMG, Breezer, we have got 2 new sponsors.
Dings.
Ding-a-ding-a-ding. I actually have had a really beautiful relationship with both of these ladies and their families through LISC. So because I've parked up LISC, was my body positivity, body neutrality page that I've parked up. And they've come over and they're sponsoring us for season 3. They are Gut Performance, which is a prebiotic, okay, and you can use discount code BFB10, which will get you 10% off Gut Performance. You'll find all those details in the show notes. And we've also got Cinch, which is a skincare range, and they are just delicious. They're vegan, cruelty-free, all the things. We absolutely love them, and you can use discount code BFB25, so you get massive 25% off when you use that discount code, and that's off single products, a single product range. But all of those details will be in the show notes, and you will hear them pop up in each episode. So
yes,
we love you both, Gut Performance and Cinch. I love both these products. I use Gut Performance every single day, and it's just so nice to have that prebiotic. We're all in this health space now of looking after ourselves, and it's been a massive difference in my
Healthcare, baby.
Healthcare,
Yep,
baby.
self-care.
And you were on Cinch as well.
I've been on Cinch for ages, Meso. Yeah.
Before me. Yeah.
Well before. Yeah, I got roped in. I shouldn't say that, but I got influenced by an influencer.
Yes.
And yeah, love it. I still use the products.
Amazing. I love that. And the reason this relationship actually came about, just a little backstory, is I had Mamma Mia, we love Mamma Mia, they had shared a post of mine on Lisk, and both of these companies, these gorgeous companies, slid into Lisk DMs and went, we think you'd be great to be part of our collaboration. So it was a really organic, beautiful way that it started. So love them, have beautiful relationships with both of them. So thanks for coming on board, Cinch and Gut Performance.
So happy we are amongst great company, aren't we, Meso?
We are. We love them, love their products. So that's my week. What about you?
Excellent. Well, just happy to be here. Happy to be
back.
Happy to be back. We've had a 2-week hiatus, although we are pre-recording this episode. So yeah, no, had a good week, all positive, but I will talk about some stuff in the potty, which goes with our topic of breaking habits, which I'll do a bit of a deep dive into that. So just been quietly observing myself over the past week or so. So, yeah, looking forward to chatting about that.
Yeah.
But I feel like we should roll into, we've still got shame story and confession session. We know that the punters love them. So
to make them feel not so shit about themselves. Make you not feel alone when you can laugh at us and go, oh, I'm not that bad.
I know. It does like connect you, I reckon, when you're sharing your shame. Or your confession about your drinking habits, and it makes you feel not so alone. And even I've had people come to me going, oh my God, listen, I heard your shame story, an episode, whatever. And they're like, oh, this happened to me. So it is that connecting and just, making a bit of light where you can on something that's, can be dark at times.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more, Breeze. And I think that's the big key of you shared a sober, awkward episode with me. It was with William Porter, and it was the first time I ever heard people talk about the shame and regret that they had being off the piss. And I felt seen and heard, and I felt so enlightened from that and empowered. And I think I didn't feel alone. And it's, as we keep saying, we talk about these icky conversations because no one's talking about it because it's not sexy to just go, I'm a hot mess when I'm on the piss because
filthy whore bag.
Yeah, we all laugh about it and make light of it, but it's pretty awful.
Yeah. And we don't talk and we've spoken about this before, May, so we wouldn't talk about the shame we felt the next morning. We'd talk about all the stupid shit we did, like big heroes.
Yeah.
But deep down we're like, God, it's not good.
It's cringe.
So we're here to talk about it. Straight up, hot off the press, we are bringing you a shame story.
Let's go. Let's hit it. You're gonna have shame on the name. Shame on the name. You're gonna figure it out. Oh, they're gonna know. Figure it out. All right, I'm going to roll into this one, Meso. And I think you are going to be part of this. You are part of this story, actually. Oh, shit. Sorry in advance. Oh, no.
So as we're recording this podcast, we've just had Anzac Day. Okay. So
lest we forget.
Meso and I reckon it was 2002.
Yeah.
We went to Anzac Cove in Gallipoli for the dawn service. And like it was such a humbling experience, wasn't it, Meso? It was so moving. Yep. So we camped out the night before and it was just a really sacred space. And, honoured and paid respect to our Anzacs. And I don't know if you remember that night, Meso. There was one guy there that was blind.
Mouthing off.
Yep. He had a cup of loudmouth soup and it was really awkward and people just like, dude, like, read the room. Yep, totally. And I remember looking at him going, oh my God, like, why would you do that? So we had the, dawn service and the whole day was quite, you go around and pay your respects to significant sites. That night, what happens? You get absolutely shit-faced. Well, this is my experience, okay? I'm speaking from my experience. I got absolutely shit-faced, and for the rest of that trip in Turkey, there was a lot of alcohol. And I had this conversation to Doc last night because he's like, well, that's what you do in your 20s. Like, that's your travel. Like, you're there to party, da-da-da. I'm like, but is it? I said, we were in a group of about 25 people. There wasn't 25 of us partying every night. There was probably a core of about 4 or 5 of us that would just rip the lid off it and just We were there to party. And I look back and I go, and I think I could have got a lot more out of that experience rather than just being shit-faced.
I love that. I can hard relate. And I actually got that picture in my head. We'll have to post it up of us.
We will.
Yeah, of Anzac Day.
Yes.
Just legless. I remember being back in Turkey and just being absolutely hammered. I think it might have even been the night before, actually. Oh God!
Yeah, the night before the camp out. Yeah, I'm a bit confused as to which. I know I definitely didn't drink when we were camping out, but the rest of it was all the Aussies are there, all the Kiwis are there. Let's get on it.
Yeah, and I do remember that was that guy that was real mouthy, and it was just completely inappropriate. It just wasn't the time or place to just go and get shit-faced and carry on and be Larry. Like, it was just
bad.
And I agree, like, just hungover, but still trying to take it in. And that the rain and the
we were there, we were right there, and we were hearing all the stories and you know, from people and the tour people, and again, too hung. I've got a picture of me in one of the trenches.
Yeah, same.
Looked like dog's breakfast.
Yeah.
Like
those trenches, how insane were they?
I know. It's just the whole thing. It's not until you actually go there and go, wow, the impact is real. But yeah, I just look back because doctors like, that's like what people do and but I'm like, it isn't though. Wasn't like drinking to the point that I was drinking to most nights. Like, sure, have drinks. You're traveling around, have drinks, be social. But there was none of that. There was no moderation. It was just get blind.
Get blind. Absolutely shit-carded. I think, and I agree. I was talking to a girl at work the other day, and she's 29, and she talked about how she doesn't drink. She stopped drinking at 19. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of her. Like, yes, I look back at my life and go, oh, you know, I've had a great time, but gosh, I wish I had the smarts. Yep. She just said it doesn't feel good. I don't like it. And just to have that, I don't know, like a strange drinking culture for us at that age, like you said, and even Doc said, you know, that's just what you do in your 20s. It's just ingrained in us. That's what you do. But is it though? You're questioning that. You're curious to go, but is it though? Or is it just
that is just our drinking, but that was probably our similar experience, mate. So that was our drinking patterns.
Yes,
you got drunk to get inebriated.
Yeah, because what else were we doing? If we weren't doing that. And where did that come from, that we were in grade that if you didn't get shit-faced, you're a loser? Like,
well, I think that's ourselves. Is it ourselves? Ultimately, we're the ones that make that decision.
Correct.
So we're the people that put the pressure on ourselves or feel like we have to get shit-faced to fit in.
Yeah.
So, it was good. It was nice to reflect on it and just to challenge that. Because I don't think my experience was what other people had in their travels. Like, sure, there was, you know, always that handful of people, but other people definitely.
I so agree. I was talking to someone the other day talking about that travelling experience and going around Europe for 4 months, and I know I'd still raise it. I don't remember so many things, and I'm in such regret. Even at Etihad when I was living in Abu Dhabi, that I regret that. Like, there's so much alcohol laden in all of that, and I wish I could experience all of that with this new mindset and sober lens. I hate that so much. But anyway, we're living it now, baby.
We're living it now. We're here now to tell the tale and to hopefully pass on what we've learnt.
Yeah, thank you, Breeza, for that. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for listening and being a part of that story.
I was there and don't really remember. Isn't it funny? I don't even remember where we ended up.
All I know, Meso, is I have a vision. It's obviously scarred me. So that I reckon it was that night, so Anzac Day night. So we'd had the dawn service. We'd done a few of the tours, and then there was one of the memorials there. I reckon like heaps of Aussies and Kiwis were there, and everyone was partying. Or it might have been a pub, but all I remember is going to the toilet in this pub, and it was a Turkish toilet, so you sort of like squat over it, and the toilet paper situation. They don't have the toilet paper, do they? They just have the water, but they had the toilet paper for us Aussies and Kiwis, and there was a bin just piled up of like poo on toilet paper. I remember to go, ooh. And I probably would have thought, I need to go and drink some more to get through this.
Any excuse?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But beautiful country, beautiful people.
Gosh. Amazing.
Stunning.
It's one of my favourites. We'll hit turkey back up again one day. So thank you for sharing.
Over to you, mate.
Thanks, mate. So it was actually my last night of drinking, basically, pretty much. I go back to the August 8th or 9th. August 9th, I think, was my last drinking. You would have thought after all that time drinking to excess, I just remember waking up at the bottom of the shower vomiting. What? Like even my ex had come in to hold my hair back at one stage. What am I doing? Just drank myself stupid. The problem was I actually had an appointment to get skin cancers removed next day. I was actually meant to go and have like these skin cancers removed. You know, I had the BCC and the SCC.
Yeah.
That appointment was in Bendigo. I lived in Melbourne. So I was meant to travel to Bendigo to have an anaesthetic and go under and have that all done. And I had to ring and cancel the appointment.
Nice.
How bad is that I got absolutely shit-faced the night before and thought that I would be okay to have an anaesthetic the next day, to have skin cancers removed. Like, where's the priority? Where's your head at?
Yeah.
You know, where's your head at? Like, that's terrible. And so I had put my actual proper health at risk of these skin cancers that I'm completely in denial about.
For the sake of serious Band-Aid and a bottle action happening.
Massively. Yeah.
I can't believe you haven't brought that story up before, Meso.
Because I was so ashamed of it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Sweary today.
No, we haven't heard that word before. Yeah,
right.
Putrid. Yeah, I still feel really shameful about that I don't think I've ever told anyone that.
Did you feel shame that day? Like, do you remember feeling shame that day?
Oh, yeah. So awful. I was in an absolute ball. I was a mess because my head was just fuzz. I just remember laying in bed just going, I've absolutely butchered this. I'm now going to go through that whole process of trying to get these skin cancers removed. You know how long those appointments take. And it was like through the end of COVID and how bad is this going to be? And I've just ruined everyone's, the
self-sabotage.
Money that I've paid, what was going on?
I wonder what it was.
I don't know. I was just carried
away.
Yeah. I was caring for Dad, so I was here, and then I'd gone back to Melbourne to spend some time with the ex, and so just tied one on,
letting off some steam, probably.
Yeah,
and then a habit, and probably habitual.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Rip the lid off it. So yeah.
Oh shit, that's a big one. I know. Mate. Thank you. That's a huge one to share. Tough one to share.
But just a mess. Then you've got to rebook. You've got to get the refund. You've already paid for the anaesthetist, like thousands of dollars. And then you've got to go back and get another referral, go to another hospital. It's got the whole process starts again.
So how long in between, Meso, was the appointment booked to the actual then surgery, like the original appointment?
I ended up actually, now that I think about it, when was that? Oh, it was 12 months later. Because I gave up drinking in August 9th, 2000 when did we start?
21.
Yep, July 22,
which was last year surgery.
Last year was the surgery.
Holy shit balls.
And that's when the relationship ended as well. So wow, like isn't that nuts?
Oh wow.
Yeah. I should post that video actually. You should see my face. It looked like a drop pie. My face was so blown up. Like I had skin graft taken from just in front of my ear. The size of that skin cancer was tiny. It was like the size of a piece of rice.
Yeah,
it was tiny. And then the cauliflower, the actual, if you're on YouTube, hang on, I'll try and get up. Can you see that?
Yeah, and see it. I think I've seen it.
Yeah. Yep. So, it's pretty gnarly. And it was a BCC and an SCC. So the BCC, it's a basal skull squamosome. I'm not great at pronouncing that. That's a surface one. But the SCC, the squamous cell, blah, 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 blah. That's the growy one. Had I left it, it would have eaten my face off. So, and because it's so close to my brain, with being near my eye, it could have been pretty savage. So, yeah, get your skin checked, folks. Get your skin checked and don't get blind the day before. Is definitely key takeout. What a loose unit. Like that is so slack. Like how
that's
irresponsible.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. Good to get off your chest.
Here we are.
Good to get off your chest.
Yep. Now done. Okay, bye.
Okay. Wow, it's potentially a good segue. I don't know, call it what you want. But what are we talking about today, Meso?
Well, funnily enough, when you raised this one, you said breaking habits, right?
Yes.
And I had my initial response in my head was breaking habits. The word breaking comes with a bit of shame, like it's a bad thing. So I thought, breaking habits or changing habits. Changing habits sounds a bit gentler.
Nicer, yes.
It's shifting because don't you reckon we were always like, got to break the habit, like it's a bad thing.
End it, like it's an end of something.
And the end of something
Changing
is harder. So maybe we're just being a bit more flexible and changing habits. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the softness, changing.
Yeah, we need the softies.
We need the softies. But this episode really came about because, obviously drinking. We're a podcast about stopping drinking or changing habit for drinking. However, I have been having a few durries.
I love that message the other day.
And I found myself, and the thing is, I might just have one or two that I'm done for a fortnight. But I had a packet the other day that I'd bought, I don't know, in Feb. And I leave them at Doc's house. And I don't want them here. I don't want them here. So this is a new thing this year. Well, this has come back, I should say. Yeah. So what was I doing? Oh, I had some girlfriends over the other night. And I'm like, I think this is going to be a dart catch up.
Framed it. Everyone bring their darts.
Doc brought over one packet of darts. We've got two at his house. He brought over one. And all I had was one cigarette. That was it. I'm like, yep, that's it. Like the girls were there for 6 hours. I had one dart. Right. And so then the packet, because Doc wasn't there, so the packet was in my cupboard. Yeah. And then the other night, I don't know, the kids, I must have got home from work early, hadn't picked the kids up at that stage. And I was like, oh, got darts in the cupboard, have a dart. And that's when I texted you, Meso, and said, I need to stop darting. Why am I doing this? Like, I need to stop.
And what was my response?
Oh, I can't remember. Have you got your phone there?
Get on the vapes.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, no. That's right. Which is actually, it is, some doctors actually prescribe that if people want to quit smoking. Get on the
Sorry, that wasn't the greatest.
I wasn't up for that. So then we started. Then you told me to read Atomic Habits, and I happen to have a copy of that at home, which I haven't read yet. So I'm going to go and read that. But then, we spoke about, let's share our experiences about how we've changed habits.
Yes. And
because I need some wisdom.
We need some wisdom. Yeah. That's so funny. Yes. So I sent you the book Atomic Habits, and then you sent me a photo that you had it in your library collection. Of course you did. Basic Bitches Book Club. Yes. But I got onto Atomic Habits via Fitbet Pod with Dilruk Jayasinghe and Ben Lomas, that we'd have had both of them on the pod. So go back and listen to their episodes. That's where I very first heard about Atomic Habits. I downloaded the audio book. I've listened to half of it, and I had a copy myself that I just gave to a friend the other day. So Atomic Habits is right in our stratosphere at the moment. I know. I love that so much. Right. I'm just going to take you back. I don't know if I shared their NLP hypnosis story on the pod about giving up the darts.
Yeah. Yes, you have. Yes.
Okay. Well, I won't go too much into that, but
give us the nutshell, because that was really interesting. And this could be used for anything. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Well, okay, I'll give you a quick hit. Dad caught me having a durry when I came home, smoking from overseas once, and Dad never tells me what to do. He'll just guide me and support me, whatever. But this particular time, he said, "Why don't you get hypnotherapy?" I was like, "Dad said it. I'm onto it." Got back to the UK. There's no such thing as Google. Got onto this woman.
This is back in the early 2000s.
Got onto this woman. It was NLP. I didn't even know what NLP was. So that's neuro-linguistics programming, where they retrain your brain, and hypnotherapy. Had no idea what I was in for.
Big sales technique, that NLP.
Yep. Massive. Go in, 2 sessions, 7 days apart. She does some sort of whiz bang on me on the first day, then says you've got to do a series of things to retrain your brain. Makes so much sense. So, and I want to ask you, Breeza, as well, like, why do you smoke? I had such an emotional attachment to cigarettes. I think living overseas, you're on the other side of the world. Yeah. It was my little ritual. It was my moment to reflect and think about home and being proud of where I am or whatever was going on. So I was never a walk along the street smoker. I was a sit down in the backyard with a coffee first thing in the morning, sunrise. It was a real moment, right?
Yes.
Don't interrupt me when I'm having a durry. Do you know what I mean? It was a real emotional attachment to them. So the things that you needed to do is, instead of sitting down, stand up. Instead of going out the back, go out the front. Instead of having it with your coffee, have your coffee after. Or instead of having it with that, have it with a juice. Shaking up that habits, which you can do with drinking as well. We can circle back on that. With the smoking thing, you know how people talk about, cutting down the amount of cigarettes you have a day. Instead of having 12, you have 11. Well, each day you have to count the amount of puffs you have of each cigarette. So you can still have the same amount of darts. You can still smoke a packet, but you've got to count the amount of puffs that you have. So that, the first day might be you have 9 puffs, next day is 8 puffs of each one of those cigarettes. So you're actually concentrating on what you are doing rather than enjoying the smoke going in and like...
right.
Like that whole situation, whereas you're actually thinking about concentrating. And also then you change the brand of cigarettes, because all cigarettes are laced and flavoured with different things like chocolate or vanilla or whatever it is. So you change the brand of cigarette that you smoke as well. So it's yucky. So all of a sudden it's throwing it off. You're not enjoying the taste. You're concentrating on that. You're not in your normal spot. So it's just turning the whole thing on its head. And then so that went on for the whole week. And then on the last day, you had a reminder jar. You carry a cigarette, an empty jar, and each cigarette that you have, which you might be only having 1 puff of each cigarette and then putting it in the jar. You can still keep lighting up, still have a deck of darts if you want to, but you're only having 1 puff, then putting it out. And if you are tempted in that week after, you take the lid off the jar and have a smell. It's just disgusting. Ooh, I never had to do that. Friends that I live with were like, give us a go, give us a whiff. Rank. But then it was topped up at the end with another session of NLP and hypnosis, which was, and it was, so I highly recommend that. But you can change up your habits with drinking as well.
Instead of using that technique.
Instead of having it out the back, have it out the front. Instead of standing up, sit down, or instead of, just shaking things up.
And I like that.
And I thought about things with, bringing in your non-alcoholic drinks, bringing in the pretty little drinks, getting onto Nat from Mindful Mocktail and getting some beautiful glassware, some ice trays, some garnish. She's got beautiful, beautiful ideas to make that experience really fun for yourself. So you're not missing out. And it's that mindset, Breezer, instead of, and I think we've had messages from our listeners talking about, like, what do you do? It's so boring. And you talked about it when you had that, was it Dry July? And all you thought about was, like, can't wait for this shit to be over. Whereas the second time, instead of thinking about what you're missing out on, think about what you're gaining.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even like, I don't know if you used to do this, Meso, but even when you're buying booze at like a Dan's or a First Choice or a BWS, you know how they have the specials there? And it's like you can get like 4 cans of something for $10. So you're like, oh yeah, I'll get that. Like they're always there. So even making a small change like that, not buying the specials. Not saying no to being offered the 4 cans of, stock they're trying to get rid of.
Yes, exactly. Same goes in the service station. Go into, instead of buying the chocolate, and buy 3 twirls for 3
Dimmies in Favoury. I'm sorry, I'm not giving up that habit. I'm sorry, but that's my thing. Dimmies. Can't go past Servo Jimmy. In fact, that's on my bio, mate. So when I'm doing a workshop, I have like a little slide about me.
Oh, I love
and it says love Servo Dimmies. And someone asked me, what's a Servo Dimmy? And I go, Dim Sims from the service station. Legit.
It's gold. It's one thing I didn't know about you. I love that so much.
Come at me.
Are you having with sauce, tomato sauce, soy sauce, or just straight up?
No, salt. Just give me salt. Yeah, give me salt. Fried, obviously.
3?
I'm not going for it. Yeah, generally 3, sometimes 2 if it's like before sort of 10 a.m. I'll just have 2.
2 before 10. This could be a segment. 2 before 10. What are you having before 10 a.m.? Stop it. I love this so much.
But can I share a little quick story about the darting situation, because it's present at the moment? After I said to you, I've got to stop darting, and there was twice this week where I've been around people who have been darting, and I've had the packet of cigarettes handy, like within reach.
Mm.
And I've said no. Like I haven't gone to do it. And I was like, yes, because the thing I did is and we say this all the time, but I played the tape forward and I thought my skin's going to be shit. And do you know what, mate? So I get real phlegmy. I'm a sinus head. It's a family thing because actually grandma the other day said she had a bit of sinus. She's 95 and that's a family thing. But Pauline, and I noticed in my 20s I was like a coughing phlegmwad every Monday after I'd been on the piss and smoked a deck of darts.
Oh,
I would just cough it up. Disgusting. People opposite would be like, what the F? And I never thought anything of it, but now I look back and go, yes, that was from cigarettes. So I don't want that hacking, disgusting cough because I know I get it from darting. So that's what stopped me from having those two opportunities that I could have had one as a social dart. I stopped because I was like, play the tape forward, your skin and your phlegmy cough, not a vibe.
Amazing. Not a vibe. That hacky cough. I had it too. The grollies that I used to hack up, the brown, disgusting phlegms. Oh,
I can't do snot. I can't do snot. It's my thing. I can't do it. And the kids will always like, even if I'm eating dim sim from the survey, they'll be like, oh, it's got a booger in it because, the cabbage. I'm like, stop it.
I love that, Breeza. Well done, because you did message me and you said, didn't have a dart today. Like, love that. Like, it's such an achievement. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learnt with habits or changing habits is bite-sized chunks. Like, if you were to say, I'm giving up alcohol forever.
Yes.
That's too big. That's mammoth. And it's especially what they talk about. Noddy has told us that recovery, it's just getting through the day, being able to lay your head on that pillow and be proud of yourself that you have chosen healthy choices that you can go, oh, I made it through the day without a drink or a dart or whatever choice that you've made, that healthy choice. And because I'm a daily exerciser and rain, hail or shine, I will always exercise because I know it's good for my mental health. And a friend said to me, they go, how do you exercise every day? And I said, well, I've put exercise in my day like I would brushing my teeth, having lunch, having a shower. It's a non-negotiable.
Yep.
And then once you start doing that, then consistency becomes habitual. And
100%.
So it's just, but I think those bite-sized chunks are super important and being prepared to shift the goalposts because it will change. Like you said, like you're moderating now. What does that look like? Okay. Like we always say, like we have this big, people think having to quit alcohol, if we don't get it right the first time, we're losers and we've just, quitting.
Yeah.
But just to be able to change the goal, shift the goalpost, don't you reckon?
But it's funny, like when, and I was thinking about this morning, Meso, there has been times over the last 8 months where I was like, I could have a drink, but I've said no because there's moments when I know that I wouldn't just have one drink. So I've stopped myself and I've again played that tape forward and I've broken it down saying, no, just get through the night. Just get through this party. You don't need to drink.
I love that.
So there's definitely been times, and just sort of finding out what's going on in my head at that time, going, well, no, I feel like if I'm going to have one drink, that's going to be diabolical. Where there's other times where I'm like, I can just have one drink.
Yes.
And that's just me at this moment in time. Things may change.
Yeah.
And I may be like,
okay.
I'm getting to that cycle too much. I need to stop again. So, yeah, and I've spoken about this. I feel like I bang on about this every time that I am super aware of the slippery slope that I could be at the top of.
Yeah, and that's okay. And a reminder that I think habits nip at our heels for years before we actually really take control of them and we dip in and out of it, as I've done. It's taken me 10 years to get to this point, to be really comfortable and staunch in my sobriety. I've had dipped in and out for years and years, and I knew it was no good for me, but still continued to do it. Like, look what I did only 2 years ago. I'm an adult and I drank piss and missed a skin cancer operation.
Yeah.
That's bad. And I think the interesting point that you made, Breeza, like, because I had such an emotional attachment to cigarettes, Have you? Is that a little escape? Is that the little Band-Aid for you that it makes you feel a reward system?
So I feel like, and I was thinking about that when you asked me earlier, May. So initially it was a social thing. It was definitely a social thing. And I only sort of got the urge when I was drinking, when I was on the sauce. And then it became a social thing sort of sometimes. Even if I wasn't drinking, I just sort of, have a dart. But now I think it is a little vice.
Yes. Yep.
And because they're there, temptation, they're there. Like they are there. So that's why I need them removed. When they're removed, no worries. Like, I'm not going to go to the supermarket and buy a packet. But if they're within arm's reach and I'm like, oh, I might as well have one. But look, if I dig really deep, I feel like it is a vice.
100%. I totally hear you. It's no different than having a block of chocolate in the cupboard.
Yeah.
No different than having alcohol in the fridge. We all have a vice and it's okay. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves that, got this vice. We all need a little dopamine hit somewhere in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
Whether that's social media, posting a thirst trap, getting that instant gratification, whatever it is, we all just need a little hit, a little treat somewhere. But like you said, are they healthy choices? And I think this is what's beautiful about our sobriety is we have such clarity. We take time to reflect and observe our feelings and how our body reacts, and to be able to stand back and go, that makes me feel shit. How am I going to feel tomorrow? Because you've got that brain space to play the tape forward and go, I'm going to feel shit tomorrow. I don't want a hacky cough. I'm going to look a bit grey and a bit washed up. Is that tiny little dart that lasts for this long really the payoff tomorrow really worth it?
Yep. And that's exactly my train of thoughts that I have been thinking in the past week. Can I just chime in with something I just came to my mind?
Do.
And this is such a random thought, but I was just thinking about booze lately, and obviously it's a poison, which we've spoken about. Have you ever had a conversation with someone, probably a female, and you've been talking about Botox, and they're like, oh, I don't want to it's poison. I don't want to put it in my body. But they'll happily drink.
Yeah.
The reason I thought about this is I was at a party recently, and one of the girls was vaping.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, so she was a cigarette smoker that gone to vaping. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Like, you don't know what is going in your body. Like, aren't you phased by that? She goes, no, I get Botox. I eat. I don't know what I'm eating sometimes. You know, what's in the food. I'm totally fine. I'm like, oh, yep, fair call. But no one is having the conversation about the poison that you're putting in your body when you're drinking alcohol. And it only came to me like recently. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, love that.
So that's a good comeback if no one wants Botox. Like, but you drink. Do you drink? Yeah. Okay, so you do put poison in your body.
Yeah.
There's your any beauty salons. There's your marketing campaign. You're welcome.
Oh, I love that.
So I love that. What else in your experience, Meso, has worked for changing
habits is that if you do, say if I come unstuck and I have chocolate for breakfast, or and instead of throwing it all out the window and saying, all right, I'll start up again on Monday, start again at midday.
Yeah, great, love that.
It comes unstuck, and instead of if I was drinking back in the day, I'd write the whole day off.
Yeah, lids off it. I might as well go hard.
Yeah. Whereas, if you end up having a drink, that's okay. Start again at 5 o'clock. You start your,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I have that mentality, Meso. If I'm trying to eat healthy and then I have a blowout at Smoko, then lunch is probably going to be, as in a food. Like if I have a morning tea, and then lunch is going to be bad. Dinner is probably going to be bad because I've started. But you're right. You can catch yourself. And start that day
and not feel bad about it. Go, I enjoyed those 2 before 10, those divvies, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to, what's going to make you feel proudest. Yeah, give yourself permission to. I've always said it's nice to just when I say let myself go, I don't mean that derogatory, but it's nice just to let yourself go and then rein yourself back in again. We can't be good all the time.
We can't.
But
We actually,
no.
I don't know how I don't know if anyone is like that. Madonna, I read this years ago. Madonna, she was really strict for 6 days, Monday to Saturday, super strict with her eating.
Yep.
Sunday, she could eat whatever she wanted.
Yeah, and that's great. And so I love that. And so you should, you know, it's okay.
Reward.
I think it's just not punishing yourself for it.
Yeah.
And there is so much stigma, like with food, like it's bad food or good food, or, you know, it's food's food. Food is fuel.
Food.
Enjoy it. Like it's a beautiful, nourishing. We're so lucky to live in a country that has fresh produce and, you know, be grateful for that and feel yourself. Like always just ask yourself, what's going to make me feel best? Like, is it going to, you know, yep, have your chocolate. Okay, go and eat. You know, you don't have to punish yourself.
No.
Be kind to yourself, I think. So, and those little tips, I think I actually learnt this from Michelle Bridges actually back in the day when I first went on my fitness journey is, for example, say you want to exercise, setting out your exercise gear the night before. So being prepared, it's that piss poor preparation leads to piss poor performance. So the same with alcohol. Like get the alcohol out of your house. Like so many people that I've spoken to still have booze in their house. That's fine if you can, you know, manage that. But if it's not, piss it off. It's not good for you. It's not helpful. It's still sitting in the cupboard going, we're still here.
That's it. Temptation. Temptation.
So remove that stuff and being prepared, like putting all your alcohol-free drinks, or if they're not your bag, get some pretty fun drinks like Etch. It doesn't replicate alcohol. Having, you know, like I said, going for Nat the Mindful Mocktail and just being prepared. And I think it also goes with social media as well, like the content that you consume. Listen to what your body is saying. Like stop and listen. If that content that you're consuming, you're comparing yourself, switch the content. Put some funny stuff in or some really helpful quotes, and don't beat yourself up about it. Taking back the power.
Oh, yeah.
You know, having control of your choices that you make. And this is actually Katie Minogue. I was just talking to her earlier, voicing, and she was talking about sobriety is a rejection of society's norms.
Yeah.
To going against the grain and being really curious about, like exactly what you're talking about, how you opened this conversation today, or the Anzac conversation about Doc saying, you know, it's what we do. It's just what 20-year-olds do. And you're going, well, is it though? We can challenge that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be the norm. You can change that.
Yeah.
And, oh, my God, does life just get better in sobriety? Like it's just, it's wild.
I know. And we say this often, May, so I just wish people could do it. Like a month is not enough, I don't think, to actually experience it in its full capacity. Like I reckon you need at least 4 months.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon?
You need a good solid time. Yeah. Yeah. And having an accountability buddy is always really good too. Like
huge.
Someone on board.
Huge.
Like
I've
even
you go.
Just even you messaging me saying, I want to get off the darts, and me say, that wasn't very helpful, saying vapes or give a book. But then for you to be able to say to me, I got through the day without a dart, like just to have someone to reach out or say to them, I don't want to drink by the end of the day.
Yes.
Messaging someone, you know,
checking
that
in,
accountability, is a key, I think. And I think it's really important. I spoke about it on LISC as well. And I think that whole thing about falling off the wagon comes with so much shame. What if there was no wagon to fall off? This is just life. We're constantly, you know, in and out, up and down, changing habits, trying new things, experimenting. We're not failing. We're trying to see what's best. Learning. Yep. Andy from Etch. I'm name dropping all over the place today. She's, you know, how we say there's no pain without growth, and she says that the growth is on the other side of discomfort.
Yes, that's a ripper, isn't it?
Love that. Yeah.
One of the habits that I have formed this year is exercising every morning. So when I say every morning, Monday to Friday, then having a sauna, infrared sauna for 20 minutes after the exercise, which is an absolute luxury. And feel so lucky to have that. My friend's got one at her house. But she's my accountability partner. Oh, I just tootle over to her house in the morning and we do and we egg each other on. And when I'm in bed, my why, like the alarm goes off at 5:50, and my why for getting out of bed is I don't want to let her down. And I know how good I feel, that feeling I have after exercise in the sauna when I roll home at like 7 o'clock, whatever it is. I'm just like, it's such a good way to start my morning. And there's been so we started at the start of this year, I've only cancelled once in that time, and I did my bloody head in. I couldn't even get back to sleep. I was like, oh, you should be there. It's too late now. Oh, you missed the window, da-da-da. So, yeah, I just think that accountability buddy and going back to your why, like why are you wanting to change this habit, or why are you wanting to create a new habit? Keep that why and go back to, again, what I do is that experience of knowing how good you're going to feel if you don't drink, or if you don't have that cigarette, or if you go and do your exercise.
Yes.
So tapping into that feeling.
I love that, Breezer. You are so, so right. And so, yeah, ask yourself, is it serving me? If I have that dart or if I have that drink, what's it going to make me feel like? Playing it forward. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at us all habited up. Good habits, healthy habits. Well, it's a choice, isn't it?
It's a choice.
Yep. As we keep saying, I think we say it, or I say it every episode, is that if you keep repeating the same thing and expecting a different outcome, is the definition of insanity. Whereas, okay, so it's not working, change it up.
Yep, change it up, peeps.
Small baby-sized chunks.
That's right. And my homework is now to read this book, and you're going to audio it up. And we'll do an upcoming ep on the actual expert ways. We've just shared our experience today on what's worked for us and what is working for us. But I think we're both going to come away with some even more tools after reading this. I can't wait to start reading it.
So it's Atomic Habits, James Clear.
Habits. Yes. I'm holding
I
up my
agree.
YouTube watches, but yes.
And I couldn't agree with you more, Breezer. It's like you just think about how good you feel now. You're just like, I don't want to wreck that.
Yeah, don't want to.
No, I feel so good.
I know, and that's addictive in itself, feeling good.
Feeling good all the time. And I thought you, with that emotional attachment, like next time you go and want to have a durry, go outside or go out the front where you would normally go, get your little notes out in your phone and write down your feelings, like journal it and go, what am I feeling now? Instead of having a smoke, write down, deep dive and go, what am I needing here? What is my body feeling? Like really unpack.
And is it funny? Because I would never go out the front because I'm like, I'd be scared someone would walk past and see me darting.
There you go. Well, now go at the front and get on your little journal.
If I do have one, but I'm like really, because I'm like, if I have one, then you're not actually changing that habit.
No, what's the point?
Because I'm not a smoker, like daily smoker, but I have them every now and then.
Yeah.
Which is not the worst thing in the world, but I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it.
Because it's not healthy.
Not healthy. No,
not good.
It's not.
No good, Robbo.
So is that our habit?
That's pretty much a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Habits.
All right, a bit of Ed Sheeran to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Eric, put a bit of Ed Sheeran in there. Thanks, buddy. We've still got phone back up with the PH because we know you love that. And let's roll into that, shall we?
Let's hit it.
It's a phone fuck up with the PH. Just read, give it F with the call or text. Phone fuck up with the PH.
This is from a friend because I was like, oh, I don't have one to share today. And so I asked a friend and she delivered the goods. So
yes,
she's got a friend. Got a few actually. But so the first one she told me is she, on the sauce, so this is quite a few years ago, on the sauce, absolutely shit face. And decided to give her ex-boyfriend a spray via text at 4 a.m. Seems okay. Nothing strange so far, right?
Okay.
Nothing out of whack.
Okay. Sounds like me. Is this me?
She went ahead and just gave a full-on spray. And she can't remember what she wrote, but this because it's quite a few years ago, but she gave a full-on spray. Wakes up the next day at whatever time, looks at her phone, and she had texted her ex-employer's client and they had written back to her that morning going, oh, well, I don't think this is for me. And so she's just gone full, bury head in sand. Didn't happen. Like nothing. Didn't respond back, just pretend like it didn't happen. But was obviously mortified. She said, I just could not believe it when I wake up in the morning and saw that I'd text this client from an ex-employer. Yeah. So I was like, Such a common story, though.
It is a common story. And I think about when I used to look at my phone if I was real blind, like looking one eye, like
one eye. Yeah.
like,
one eye. But she says, that that's why I never have my phone near me while I drink. And I'm a bit the same, like back in the day. Because I obviously work in social media, I have a lot of clients' accounts on my phone. So I do it out of just a professional sense and not to have my phone near me. Plus, I don't want it. I don't want it near me. I want to be with people.
Yeah, good.
So, yeah, and we do say this. We do say don't scroll and drink. Don't text and drink. All that. Just don't have your phone near you when you drink, people. Save yourself some head noise.
Yeah, what was Drew's thing? Scroll
hole.
Scroll hole.
I've used it.
Right.
I've used it. I've used it a couple of times since then.
I haven't listened to Drew's app. It was 76, I think.
Yeah,
Drew Wild, he's a cracker. 2. Yeah, no, I love that.
So she's got more. Sharing. So stay tuned for the next installment. The next one's another doozy.
Love this. I love this.
It's time for the recommendation of the week.
All right, well, I've hogged our segments going first, so you're up, Meso.
All right, I'm up. It's a real short and sharp one. Appreciating yourself.
Love that.
So we're constantly writing gratitude lists and gratitude journals, which I cannot get. It's been integral in my healing process of sharing gratitude. You all know that I do that with a friend. But in those gratitude lists, you're always writing, I'm grateful for my family and food and sunshine and all the things. But when was the last time you actually stopped and appreciated yourself and said, look at what I've done with my life. Look at how far I've come. Thank you for my legs getting me out of bed in the morning. I appreciate the effort that I've made. I appreciate that I got through yesterday not drinking. Look at me go. Like turning that gratitude back on yourself.
Brilliant.
There you go.
Love that. I actually wrote the other day, this is sort of on in line with what you're saying. I wrote that I was grateful that my body was sore when I woke up from exercise.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's awesome.
I was like, these muscles are working, baby.
Yeah. I love that.
I love that. I'm gonna incorporate that into my gratitude list today.
Yeah, you can. And it is important to just stop and reflect and go, look how far I've come, look at what I've achieved, look at what the traumas and trials and tribulations and the heartbreak and all the things that I've gotten through. I'm really proud of that. And, you know, all the things, all the hiccups, and to appreciate yourself and your patience and kindness and just appreciating you. It's self-love and self-care, and do that daily.
That's brilliant. That's got me up and about.
There you go.
My reco is, and this episode's dropping mid-May. So, peeps, you've got 3 weeks to get yourself to the theatre if you're in Melbourne to go and see And Juliet.
Yes.
By far the best musical theatre show I've ever seen, to the point I want to go again. Like I've been trying to organise it with my sisters and mum. So I will be going again in the next 3 weeks. But it is, have you seen it, Meso? You need to get there, mate. You need to get there.
I'll go immediately.
You'll just like wet your pants, slide off the seat. Like it's so good. It is, and I don't want to hype it up. Okay, so I'm going to bring it down a notch. But I do want to make a little note that, remember, I reckon it was season 1. My recommendation was not to wear a high bun at the theatre because it's hard to see over a high bun or anything like a high ponytail or something. Guess what? I had 2 rows in front of me.
Oh.
High ponytail with a scrunchie.
So inconsiderate.
Like, you might as well put a hat on. You might as well just rip out the umbrella. No, but it wasn't that bad because Doc's like, oh, do you want to swap seats? I'm like, no, it's actually not. It could be worse. But yeah, just remember that. Just remember, don't drive in the right lane unless you're overtaking, and don't wear a high bun to the theatre. But yeah, and Juliet is just, I just can't speak highly enough of it. You've just got to see it, everyone. That's my
tickets immediately.
Can you please? Yeah.
Yeah,
can you please?
I will. That's cracking app. Love today so much.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's so good to be back. And thank you. We've had some incredible reviews and DMs. Put those DMs in our reviews in Apple Pod or Spotify. Give us 5 stars. Share it with your friends. Hit 5. Subscribe, download. Tell everyone, because that way the word gets out there. It grows legs. It sends us further, and it just someone
just
will
helps
need to hear
people.
it.
Like, I
It
just
helps
love
people.
hearing that
Yeah.
people have changed their relationship with booze. I'm like,
100%.
That's unreal. That's
And
awesome.
exactly. And do remember, stay in your lane. Remember your
Stay in your
why. Do
lane.
not pin your sobriety on Breezes or
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
Be really clear with your why.
Sobriety-ish. I'm going to make that a word.
Right-ish. Thanks, E-Dog.
Thanks, E-Dog. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
We love you.
So we'll be
Good
back
to
next
see ya.
week.
Can't
Bye,
wait.
guys. Bye.
This podcast is proudly produced by our audio engineer, music extraordinaire, Eric Ladd.
We love you, Eric.